Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have spoken to Betsy Kenyon before. She's a longtime Buddhist practitioner. She is a photographer, but also she is a runner. Now, this time we're talking about running and how running has helped her getting through some difficult times. Tell us more about the running.
The running, it's so funny because I don't know about you. As I get older, I'm running less. I don't compete like I used to compete, but I still had the base miles. So I hadn't run, I don't even know, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And we went out to Long Island, and in Long Island, I have a favorite run, and my body did it. It was 6 miles. It's not a big deal, but I could do it, and I could do it the next day. And I just thought, God, how fortunate that I have this in my life, and that it's something that can almost be trusted. And I should knock on wood because an injury, you never know.
Yeah, it can happen overnight. I fall, and then you're like, yeah.
Well, that's right. Or plantar fasciitis, or you don't know what's coming your way. But it saved me. I think you said the same thing. Did you say that to me?
Well, running is my meditation. And I always say, you don't want to be around me when I don't run. And obviously, when it's cold weather, it's a little harder for me to run. But I think once you're out of the house, it's okay. As long as the sun is shining, for me, is the most important thing. Even in the winter, I put my hat on, I put my glasses on, and then I'm in my own zone.
Yeah. I too, it's funny. I grew used to running in the cold because when I first moved to New York, it was actually cold. It doesn't seem to be cold anymore. It's like 10 years later. It's really not that cold, but it was cold. And the thing I liked about the cold was that I couldn't feel my body as much, but I was also a much younger body then too. But yeah, for me, I started running at 40. I started running really late. And maybe it's good because I had no wear and tear on my body. Like my sport was in high school was ultimate frisbee. So I wasn't a big jock, even though ultimate frisbee is a physical sport. But I started running when I was 40. I started running because I got divorced. I started running because I needed something and I knew I needed it. And I needed to turn my sadness around. I needed to use the energy of the sadness in a different way because it was definitely fuel. I was feeling a lot. I had a child that was 6 months old. So I started running then. And my mother is a runner still at 84. And she never competitively, but I said to her, how do I run? And she said, start off slowly, run once around the park. That's what I did. And then I kept running farther and farther, and then joined a running group. You know how it goes. And you start to just push it a little bit more and a little bit more. And it became the best way to feel my own personal strength. It created obviously massive endorphin release. I felt very proud of myself because I had no idea I was capable of any of that. No idea. Yeah. And so I just kept running longer.
And you said you did ultra. So what was the distance you did?
I started out 5K, half marathon. Half marathon was really my best distance, but I was like, that's for sissies. You know, I was like, so, and I did full marathons, and then I did like a 50K. Then I did a couple of 50-milers, and then I did a run across Southern Ireland that was 130 miles in 5 days. So I had never done a marathon back to back before. I was like, can I even do this? But how it goes, your body, I don't know, you're more capable than you think you are. That was those were my distances. I had my goals set on doing 100-miler, just all, overnight 100-miler, but it never really happened. And that's not going to happen now. Because even training for it, because the 50-milers, I did two very different situations. One was brutal. One was the North Face Challenge, and it was brutal. It was in Bear Mountain. And then the other was in Vermont, and it was rolling hills, and it was gorgeous. And the other was like boulders, and I fell 5 times, and I was bloodied. But yeah, so the running, my partner, my husband, was so into it. He went to Harvard. So when I ran Boston a number of times. He felt proud. He would buy the sweatshirt, and then Daisy, my daughter, would come on some of these too. And so it felt wholesome, healthy, and
it's just fantastic when you have your whole family coming to the race and if they support you. I was in a running class many years in New York City, and I was the running coach there, and it was just so nice to have that supportive group. And we're still that group. Now we're more the pizza people than the running people, but that's okay. And I just met my friends over the weekend. We said, we've been friends for more than 20 years. And we pick up where we left. We don't run so much anymore, but it's just beautiful what you have created in running. It's because it's raw. You're yourself. You're not pretending anything. That's how I see it. It's just a different friendship that you have, and it goes deeper.
The reason I was so attracted to it was that you don't need anything except for shoes. And remember, that was even thrown into question with the book Born to Run. It's like, do you really need shoes? I don't even know if you need shoes. And I loved that. And I loved too, I don't know about you, when I travel, it's the best way to orient myself. I feel like I have a sense of where I am. I'm viewing it through a car window, or I'm viewing it through a hotel room window. So I love that. And I also like that you can do it without anybody. I agree with you that the camaraderie, in fact, that the ultras are very much, I found, about camaraderie, because they're slower. You're not sort of speeding, and they feel less competitive. That really the competition is just to finish it. It's just like the competition with you. But I like that it's very solitary. Like, put on your shoes and just go. It feels like freedom.
It is freedom. And I like that you can run anywhere in the world. There's some limitations. I was in India, and then when I was there was nobody running. So obviously I respected it. Or in Indonesia, I had like a long pants on and went to the gym, and then I would kind of like have my shorts on. So I want to respect the culture. And then the treadmill stopped. So I was running and the treadmill stopped. I was like, but you have stories to tell, and then you meet other people, and it's just nice. And yeah, as you said, you don't need a partner. You can put on the shoes and go and look around. And in a way, running a little faster than walking, but it's not like as if you're in a car and you just rush through. So it's also slowing down, and you can look around and you see things that you would never see in a car.
Totally. You hear people talking, you sense their bodies energetically, like you're running past them. You get a sense of the landscape, the quality of the air, the quality of the nature, the urban quality. It's so rich. And that's why that project, the Four Directions project that I was talking about, that was such a rich project, because I got a residency in a van. So they give you a teen Winnebago camper van, and they give you a month, and they give you some cash, and you can go anywhere you want. And it's that same thing, even though we're talking about a car. It was because I would go, but most of these locations you have to hike to or walk to, or you can drive your van to the parking lot of Key West, the southernmost point of the contiguous US, but you still are walking to the sand, you're getting into the water, you're really feeling the elements, you're really putting yourself in that location. And that's the thing. Regional differences, like us meditating at the Garrison Institute, that beautiful, sacred Franciscan monastery. And then directly across from us is West Point, a military academy. It's just so surreal. I just feel like all that stuff is so felt. So running is such a direct way of feeling all of that. And the farther you go, the more you see, but also the more worn down you become. Like this sort of, I don't know, the experience becomes more direct for me the farther I run, even though I haven't had that experience now for a long time.
We have to make a date. We have to make a date. Let's run as far as we can go. But I think it's even if you do 4 or 6 miles, it's an accomplishment.
Absolutely. No, I am not going to. Yes, I agree with you. And you're right. It's still 4 to 6 miles distance. It's time. And no, I agree with you. I agree.
What do you think when you run?
It's interesting because when you were saying that running is your meditation, I was saying it's not my meditation. What happened to me, so I can't run with music because I start to measure everything by 3 minutes. I'm like, oh, I only ran for 3 minutes because that song's over. And I found that I want a more direct experience, but also sometimes when the runs would get middle long and my mind is sort of searching for distraction, I would start to thinking. And then it is interesting how much distance can go by when you're just wrapped up in thinking. I try not to think. It's not trying not to think, but I try to be as still in my head. I'm really experiencing the environment with walking meditation. I can feel my feet on the ground running. I can feel the air moving in and out of my body. I can sense the environment around me. And that's why it's funny because most of my runs now are on a treadmill at the gym. I can't run as far. I do a lot of sprinting because it seems like the right thing to do on a treadmill because it's impossible for me to enjoy the environment, almost impossible for me to enjoy the environment at the gym. Then you've got MSNBC on, and then you're really distracted. So this is a very long-winded answer. When I run in nature, I try to be as present as possible with our meditation. When I start thinking, I try to say to myself, you're thinking, let go and be present as you can. Look at your environment, feel your feet, feel the clothes on your body. But at the gym, I have a very different experience. So it's almost like it's like medicine, like bad tasting medicine, like just let's get this done.
So many things, we can talk for hours and hours, but when you tell me about the gym and the outdoors, and I'm like, I remember sometimes going to the gym and I was like, I can't take this. But what I think is important, we do it. And wherever we do it with intention. So, okay, it's a bad medicine, but at least you're doing it and you're doing it for yourself.
Yes. And maybe I'm sort of over exaggerating with the bad medicine, that in order to accomplish, it already starts to feel like accomplishment at the gym. In order to accomplish that run, I have to distract myself with television or something. Maybe it's just something I need to work on too. It's like just enjoy the environment of the gym. Here you are. There's plenty around you. It's not like you're in a vacuum or something.
Just reframe it.
It
can be beautiful. It can be beautiful. Yeah, but enjoy whatever you have. Enjoy the moment. Don't think. Be present. What was the other thing? Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Don't control. Don't examine. Just be.
Right, exactly. Don't expect applause.
Oh, yes. But
the Lojong quotes are incredible. The Lojong slogans, they're just amazing. I don't know if you've been doing any of the chanting or reading any of the chants that we did, but they're very pointed and they're very profound.
I realized that after the first day, obviously, I just read what I saw, and then each day got a little deeper, and I was like, oh, this is a good quote. Like, don't be pretentious or get rid of poisonous food. So some of them were like, let's focus more on these. So I thought these were really powerful to me. And I want to digest a little more. I think that Garrison Institute was just the beginning. I want to dedicate a little more time. Thank you, Betsy, again for a wonderful conversation. We could talk for hours. What are you taking away? Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday. Come with us, speak to us. We have many interesting stories. You can run with us, but also download the book, Take It from the Iron Woman, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Get it in your local bookstore. Shop local.